Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday, almost to the end of our week. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning on Kare 11 Plus. I'm Meteorologist Courtney Aitken. Meteorologist John Ziegler is here today. You may have seen him on Sunrise, so don't worry, he's around. He just had to step out real quick to shoot a weather promo. Each of the weather team members were kind of stepping out of studio here and there just to film a little bit of content for you all at home. So you'll see it on air, I'm sure, maybe by the summertime. Another quick housekeeping note just before we get into your forecast. Many of you, I'm sure, have already heard that our chief meteorologist, the iconic Belinda Jensen, is retiring, and this coming Saturday is going to be her last show. So the Saturday morning show, for those of you who watch, it's from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning, and they'll be saying goodbye to Belle. It's going to be her last show with us here at Kare 11. So really kind of sad, to be quite honest, but she has earned that retirement. I'm really excited for her, and just make sure that you tune in. We want to make sure that she feels all the support from this community because she truly is the best. All right, let's get into your forecast. Beautiful sunrise, by the way. Check that out. Lots of color, sun coming up, skies stay clear, but you can see those ripples along the water. A couple of clouds moving on in. Mainly clear, though, to start our day. It was cold. And for those of you in parts of the state, right, you may have seen a notification on your phone that you were under some sort of frost-related alert. We had frost advisories, I believe, in Hennepin County. But interestingly enough, areas way up north, where it's even colder, did not have any of those alerts. Why? Well, it's a little bit strange, but it's not strange, but it's a little bit counterintuitive, I should say. Their growing season starts later. So the reason we had those advisories is because folks may be already starting to put seeds in the ground, and you may be putting those sensitive plants out. Those are the ones that could be put in jeopardy when we have the really chilly temperatures. Way up north, International Falls, they're not doing any planting yet. So that's why those folks did not have those alerts despite this morning being chilly. And there you have it. Actual lows were in the mid 30s for the Twin Cities, so we did not make it below freezing, but it certainly felt like it. Feels like temperatures were in the low 30s. We had 20s up in International Falls, Grand Rapids. Once again, these are the areas I was talking about that didn't have any alerts just because their growing season has not started yet. I'm sure they had frost on their windshields this morning, but they're not planting anything just yet. Here's another look outside. Clouds are starting to move in. So you needed the sunglasses for your morning commute. You're going to need the light. But clouds will continue to move in throughout the day today. So on the drive home from work, you may not need the shades on just because we'll have more clouds by the end of the day, and it'll stay a little bit cool today. Highs not making it out of the lower 50s here for the metro. I'm forecasting 52 in the Twin Cities, 48 in Luck, 46 in Hayward today. We've got low 50s in Rochester, 53 in Jackson, 50 Alexandria, 45 in Bemidji, 42 in International Falls, and there could be some light passing showers. We're talking very light and very much passing, so you won't need to worry about getting rained on. Here is the microcast to tell the story a little bit better. Clouds rolling on in through lunchtime, through late afternoon, and there are those showers right around Ortonville, Marshall, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If these showers make it to the ground, it's going to be for folks south of 94. So Wilmer, you could get a quick sprinkle. Not expecting any rain for the Twin Cities, just an increase in those clouds. Here's tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock. We have a mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures overall will be similar to what we have today. Overnight tonight, 37. We could see more of those frost advisories. Cold up north, 27. Grand Rapids overnight tonight, 26 in Bemidji, 28 in Thief River. By the way, I know it's Bemidji, but John and I always joke Bemidji because y'all are always so cold. 36 in Mankato, 34 in Rochester tonight. And then tomorrow we have the first day of May. How about that? 54 degrees for a high tomorrow. Chilly in the morning, mainly sunny into the afternoon. Sunset tomorrow night, 8:18. Now let's talk about the weekend. Maybe you are getting away. I don't know, might be a little bit early in the season, but hey, if you have the time off, take it. 49 in Duluth Duluth tomorrow. We're going lower 50s for Brainerd Lakes, 54 in Detroit Lakes, and around 40 to, upper 40s to near 50 for Hayward. As we get into the weekend, you'll notice that warm up. Hayward potentially getting into the upper 60s by Sunday. That sure would be nice. Same with Detroit Lakes, 68 in Brainerd Lakes by Sunday, 62 in Duluth. So it should be a nice weekend. Sunday overall does look to be the warmest day over the next handful, 63 on Monday. That's just a little bit closer to average. We also have some rain chances making it back into the forecast by next week. We need a little bit more time to say which day will be the rainiest, but at this point, there is at least that chance. Isolated shower first thing in the morning on your Sunday. No need to cancel plans there. Isolated showers Monday, and then we have some showers in the evening on Tuesday. Scattered shower chance into our Wednesday. Luckily, going into next week, our low temperatures are in the 40s. So you'll still need a light layer in the morning, but it won't be quite as cold. As of about 10 a.m. this morning, we're hanging out in the low 40s, upper 30s for St. Cloud, but it feels cooler, and the culprit here is the wind. It's coming out of the north. North winds are always colder. 10 miles per hour in the Twin Cities, 10 for Duluth, a little bit breezier in Grand Rapids, 16 miles per hour, 12 for Alexandria, calmer winds out to the west. So because of the wind, it feels chilly, 35. That's your feels like temperature in the Twin Cities. Feels below freezing in St. Cloud. Feels like upper 20s in Brainerd, 30 in Bemidji, 27 in International Falls. Feels like 33 in Mankato. Feels like freezing in Wilmer. Same with Marshall. So if you have yet to leave home today, make sure that you do have a layer. It looks nice. It is chilly, and more clouds will start to move in as we get into the afternoon and evening. So let's recap. Highs in the 50s today and tomorrow. There's a chance for some patchy frost Friday morning. Not everybody will get a frost advisory, but even if you don't get that advisory, you could still have frost. For folks that do have an advisory, really just that means that you should refrain from planting anything, because in those conditions, when we do have frost, when we do have the temperatures near or below freezing, that's when it can cause damage to those more sensitive crops. Slightly warmer over the weekend. Saturday morning will still be cold, but the afternoons will be back in the 60s. Sunday is my pick because we should see mid and upper 60s. So that'll be a good day for some outdoor plans. We could see an isolated shower Sunday morning, very minor. Again, low 40s right now, feeling like mid 30s, still a little bit breezy, and it'll stay that way into our afternoon. High temperatures not particularly warm today. I'd call it brisk, low 50s with more clouds moving on in as we get into the afternoon and evening. If you're just tuning in, here's the microcast again. We'll start this within the next hour. Clouds start to move in, but you'll really notice them by late afternoon. In fact, at that point, will be partly to mostly cloudy. There is that chance of rain to the west and southwest. I think that any light showers that develop will, first of all, be light and unimpactful, but secondly, they're going to stay south of 94. So Wilmer, Marshall, Ortonville, light sprinkles for you guys. Everybody else should stay dry. Really no problem there. More clouds into tomorrow afternoon. Not as cloudy though. You'll see a mix of both clouds and sun. Temperatures will be similar for your Friday with highs in the 50s. And then as we get into Saturday, a partly cloudy morning. Cold in the morning with lows in the 30s, but the afternoon gets a little bit better for our Saturday with highs making it into the low 60s. Today, it'll be a cool day, increasing clouds, forecasting a high of 52. Sunset tonight, 8:17, and winds will continue today out of the northwest at 5 to 10, making it feel slightly cooler than it is. Once again, here is your weekend, 36 on Saturday morning. You'll need the coat. We could even see those frost advisories continue through tomorrow morning and again on your Saturday morning. By Sunday morning, we probably won't see any more of that frost alert action. Afternoons, both Saturday and Sunday, will be nice. Saturday 63, Sunday 67. Sunday at this point is looking like my pick of the week. Some areas may graze upper 60s to near 70, and it should be dry during the afternoon. There is a non-zero chance that we get an isolated shower on Sunday morning, but it won't be very impactful. Let's talk long term. It's been kind of cool this week, and it is looking as though if we look into next week, this is for the next 6 to 10 days, so this takes us just beyond our 7-day forecast. Look at all that blue. We are highlighted here across Minnesota in that nice light blue hue, indicating that we are a little bit more likely to see below normal temperatures. Doesn't mean that we'll be freezing by any means, but we're looking at highs in the 50s and 60s as we head into that first little bit of May. Now, this time of year, cooler weather generally means quieter weather. If we were in the 70s, lower 80s, that would mean that we were looking at a more active pattern with the potential for storms. So if you like storms, you might be bored for the next week or so, but if you're not a fan of storms and you don't mind the brisk mornings, I think you're going to enjoy the next week or so, the next little bit of May. Once again, here are your highs over the next 5. We'll go 52 today, light layers. Same with tomorrow, 54 for a high, 63 on Saturday, 67 on Sunday. That's my favorite day on the forecast, 63 on Monday, which is right around average, and Friday is May 1st. So again, here is your 7-day forecast. Clouds increase today. Still kind of clear out there right now as of late morning. That'll change as we get into the afternoon. Tonight, it gets chilly again. We won't be at or below freezing in the metro, but some areas will get a little bit closer to the freezing mark. So we're talking lows in the 30s, feels like temperatures in the 20s, and some frost advisories are not out of the question, especially because some crops, if you have planted them, and some sensitive plants, if they're outside, could be damaged. Also, if you're somebody who has an outdoor pet, outdoor cat or dog, maybe you're on a farm, just bring them inside on nights like these when it gets a little bit chillier. Saturday morning, we also start a little bit on a colder note, but we'll make it as warm as possible because Saturday morning is Belinda Jensen's last day here on Kare 11. Just a reminder, our Saturday morning show is from 8 o'clock to 10 a.m. and we'll be doing it up big to say goodbye to her. So make sure that you tune in so that she feels all the love. 63 Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, not as chilly. 46 will hit 67 in the afternoon. Sunday, I keep on saying, is going to be a good day. There could be some sprinkles in the morning, but the afternoon looks just fine and it'll be warmer. Then as we get into next week, things may get slightly more active. Still looking at coolish temperatures, low 60s, which is right around, if not just below average. Same with the lows, lower 40s, right around or just below average. At this point, no particular day looks like a total washout, but we definitely could get a couple of wet days headed into next week. Here's a look outside as of late morning. Those clouds starting to move in. We have cloud cover to the north of the Twin Cities, cloud cover up along the international border. Alexandria, Fargo, you're a little bit more cloudy. Albert Lee had some light showers earlier this morning. Right now, just a dusting of clouds. We do have some clear pockets up towards St. Cloud, a little bit of clearing in Marshall, clear to the north of Mankato. But again, that will change as we get into the rest of the day. Low 40s, if you're just tuning in, feels like mid 30s. That's the wind creating those chilly feels like temperatures. If it feels a little bit colder than it did yesterday morning, there is something to that. It's not a huge change, but technically, yes, it is a little bit cooler than what we had yesterday. Cooler by 3 to 5 degrees any given spot. So light layer will be necessary. 41 in the Twin Cities. Getting into the microcast, clouds moving in, expanding across our region this afternoon. A small chance of showers south of Moorhead all the way through Marshall, Laverne, even Jackson and Mankato. You could get clipped by some light sprinkles. I think we stay dry in the Twin Cities. Tomorrow we have a mix of clouds and sun. Cold in the morning, brisk in the afternoon. So we mean lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s. As we look ahead for today at low 50s, that's about as warm as we get, which isn't too warm. So just make sure that you have something comfy in the way of a light layer. Let's go ahead and get it over to your 7-day forecast. Since this is our last minute or so, you can see the forecast through the weekend and beyond. 52 today, 54 tomorrow, back in the 60s for our Saturday and Sunday. That's our first weekend of May. A small rain chance late Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then we'll sprinkle in some rain chances, no pun intended, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, with those highs staying near average.